Touchdown.
We're here.
Welcome, everybody. This is the No Politics Podcast, the most dope, the most real, the most must-listen wrestling /sports/music/whatever the fuck we want, but mostly wrestling podcast in the whole podcast world. I am your host, one half of the team, Working Genius, and as always, I'm here with my co-host.
Faking no moves, everybody. What up?
And we're here to talk wrestling as usual. We might hit you with a little NBA talk. The playoffs is going on right now.
Might just
have to do that, but we gonna get into some wrestling as always. I thought it was a good week. I watched. It wasn't a special or spectacular week, but to me it wasn't a week where you really pick at things and say, nah, that wasn't good. Like, to me, I was satisfied with the week. How about that? That's the best way to sum it up. I was satisfied overall with the week. How about you?
I was satisfied too. Raw was shockingly decent. I'll say pretty good. And SmackDown just proved to be, the land of opportunity, like literally. So that's good. I can't wait to talk about that. The NBA playoffs have been really good. And yeah. So I'm feeling good about the week, and I'm looking forward to talking about it.
Yeah, as always, I figured we just kick it off with Raw and go through what happened. So, we're not exactly going to go in order match by match. We try to avoid that these days because it just drags and it takes us a really long time to get through it. But the way it started off was something worth talking about, so I'll start it off there. The first thing they showed is Roman getting slaughtered in the back by Braun Strowman, and then Raw kicks off. Braun Strowman comes out, makes his way to the ring.
Not to cut you off.
Go ahead.
In a super edited package. Super edited.
Why? That's funny that you say it's super edited, because I seem to recall you seeming to think everything that happened with Reigns and Strowman was super real.
Strowman lift that damn ambulance. I'm going to my grave with that shit.
Okay.
Second of all, the fucking opening package had fucking colors and lightning in it.
Okay,
like,
that's what
he
you
was
were
dropping
referring to.
the ambulance and it went lightning and
Gotcha.
shit. Like, come on, that shit was.
Okay, that's what you were referring to.
Yeah.
Well, aside from that, Braun Strowman makes his way down to the ring, and would you like to speak on a little bit on what he had to say? To me, to sum it up, all he really said was, he's looking for competition because Roman Reigns wasn't here tonight, but the crowd was loving him.
It was kind of funny though. He's like, I'm the man that hurt Roman. And he's like, and I'm happy I hurt him. Like, he's like, he didn't know what to say because they loved him so much.
Yeah.
But Kurt Angle came down, saved the day. He's like, what do you got to prove? You fucking lifted a fucking ambulance, bro. A freaking ambulance. You flipped the freaking ambulance. What do you got to prove?
Yeah.
And he was just like, I want competition. He was like, listen, you've done enough damage. I'm giving you the night off. He was like, Foley tried to do that shit with me, and you saw what happened. He was like, what's going to happen? And he was like, you'll see. And walks off.
Yeah. He says the or else or something, right?
Or else. Yeah.
That's his little
That's
thing.
his new catchphrase.
Exactly. Yeah. But one thing he also said that was funny to me was when he was like, you'll get Roman Reigns at Payback. And he goes, it'll be Roman Reigns' funeral. Like, he just has like these one-liners that are just so like to the point and just so like hyperbolic and just exaggerated. And it's just mad funny. But it's less exaggerated because Braun is saying it. So it's almost like...
And he's so big.
Exactly.
So it's like it's not even like it's something
crazy
serious
to think of, too.
Yeah, it's like it's not like this elaborate sentence. He's just like...
Yeah, exactly.
I'm happy I heard him.
But, so yeah, Braun makes me laugh like all the time now. But that was that for that segment. The very next thing that happened, I believe, was Samoa Joe, Chris Jericho. Unless I'm skipping over something. And if I am skipping over it, that means it might not have been that important. So the next significant thing anyway, was Chris Jericho versus Samoa Joe. Again, which, you know how I feel about those repeat matches too many times. But they had a good match.
It was a decent match.
And for me, anyway, my favorite part was that, I don't know what you're going to say. I'm going to stop speaking because you look like you're ready to say something crazy.
All right, this has nothing to do with the match because you're probably not going to say this. Jericho didn't have his jacket with the lights. He had a fucking scarf.
Oh, the scarf was brilliant.
That was amazing. It was beautiful.
Hold on. First of all, the fact that I even called it brilliant, like, that's not a normal word I use every day.
It's just little things that are dope that he does. So it was brilliant.
It was absolutely genius on Chris Jericho's part. That scarf was amazing, first of all. And when he appeared later in the night, he had on a different scarf. I don't know if you noticed that, yeah.
No.
So that was great. And the promo he ended up cutting later in the night, we're not going to talk too much about it right now, but I thought it was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
But, okay, for me, this match, one of my favorite things was that Samoa Joe won clean.
Yeah.
Because, look, Chris Jericho, not only... Here's the thing, when they're getting someone ready for a pay-per-view match, like an upcoming match, a lot of times they'll either not want to end it with a clean finish, you know, they'll have like a count out or someone walks off or there's a DQ, you know, because they're not trying to hurt either person's value and either person's stock. But
it was a clean win, and I feel, you know, Jericho is kind of like on his way out. He's going to put Owens over.
Exactly,
and, you know,
which is why I thought, like,
he's doing the job.
Exactly. And I was like, man, you know what? That's cool that Samoa Joe just went over him clean, and I dug it.
And it was a back and forth, good opening match. Jericho almost got the walls in. Or did he get the walls in? The crowd went crazy. That's all I know when the walls was happening. And then the whole sleeper and eventually just having to tap as much as he was fighting it, you know, was fucking dope too, you know. And I like the way Jericho helped Joe build to the sleeper. Ooh. It wasn't like he just got it and jumped down and pulled him down like he's been doing. He got it. Jericho went down on a knee, got up, went down on two knees, worked his way to get to the floor slowly without nobody getting hurt. I love that Jericho did that, and it was brilliant.
Agreed. Now, right after the match, Samoa Joe gets on the mic, because we neglected to mention it, but Rollins is sitting on commentary.
I forgot.
Yeah. It slipped my mind. But the promo that Joe cut was fucking awesome to me. And then Rollins' rebuttal was solid as well. But every time Joe gets that mic, I'm like, we're about to hear something good. He doesn't slip. It's like he doesn't slip on that mic. He's right at home when he grabs that mic. He says everything he needs to say. It's magical sometimes.
He came a long way with his mic skills. I liked how he was saying, you know, remember, I remember your scream and your pain when I took you down, and he was like, what you did to Triple H's wife, Stephanie.
Yeah, I love that he said that.
Yeah,
making them sound like the victim.
Yeah, it was good.
I thought it was dope, and you know, he said that whole thing like, when I first took you out, that was just business. Payback is personal. So I fucked with that.
Payback is a bitch.
Yep. That's how Rollins ended his promo, actually.
Yep.
So it was cliche, but you know, I fucked with it. It was appropriate. So
and then
right after that, and I'm only gonna mention this because it builds up to something. But backstage we see the Golden Truth headed to their match against the Club, and Braun Strowman
attacks them.
No, destroys. I had it right.
Oh yeah,
he destroys.
Destroys,
and that's pretty much all.
That's it.
But
that's all he does.
Exactly. It goes to commercial. Comes
back.
Fit
Finley came out, so we got to see Fit Finley.
Yes. Also,
That
Jamie
was
Noble.
cool. Jamie Noble as well. We haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah.
Also, you just reminded me. Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, they were walking to the ring and they saw the Drifter
Oh, Elias
playing his
Sampson.
guitar, and he was like, "What's up?" Like if they fucked with him or some shit. I'm like,
It
okay,
was mad cool. I just like,
yeah,
and he also comes up later in the night too. I like what they're doing with him.
yeah, random ass shit.
Yeah, and later in the night he walks through someone else's promo, which we'll get to later. It's dope. I like it. Like I don't love Elias Sampson, but I like how they're just having him randomly kind of stroll around. So
Yeah.
Anyway, that leaves the club with no opponent, and they come out to the ring, and it was short and sweet, but I loved their little promo. It was funny. The first thing that Carl Anderson says is, "So the Golden Truth gets the United Airlines treatment."
Oh,
And the
I almost
crowd
forgot he
loved
said
it.
that.
I wrote it. I made sure I wrote it because I didn't.
That
want
was
to forget.
hilarious.
And he delivered it so well, like so nonchalantly. And
Yeah,
he's like, and that leaves us, on standby.
with no opponents.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he says, when we came here to be mean and make green. That's their little.
Yup.
That's their little thing. A reminder of their characters and their gimmick.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It was short and sweet. I dug it. And then the people that
They
answer
just
their call
sent some nerds out so we could
sent
beat them
some
up.
nerds out. That's what I was forgetting.
Yeah, and then the two guys, realest guys in the room, bada boom, how you doing?
Yes, sir.
They come out.
They come out, come down to the ring.
Yep.
And I thought it was a good
They had
match.
a good fucking match.
Yeah.
There was one point where Enzo was going for the tag, and he was so close, and Anderson got him like right at the very end where he was
firm.
Pulled him back.
And then here's the even better. Later in the match, Anderson is trying to intercept Enzo from making the tag, and he goes for that running knee that he's caught Enzo with in the past, and Enzo kind of eludes him. He kind of dodges him and makes the tag, and that was dope. And then I believe Cass starts beating people up, and then Cass takes out Gallows. They fall to the outside of the ring, and then Enzo comes off the top turnbuckle to take out Anderson, and Anderson catches him. And then this was it looked so unorthodox, but Anderson lifts him and just throws him into the turnbuckle at an awkward
it was
position.
kind of a weird finish. It wasn't clean.
Oh, I don't know. But it looked damaging. So it kind of got over on that aspect alone.
And then he pinned him off that.
Yeah, which I thought it was fine, because if they did botch or make a mistake, the fact that he pinned him right after, it looked like it was just a damaging, I'm just gonna throw this dude around kind of thing. It
doesn't even matter. Yeah,
exactly. Boom. And they went over them clean, and I like that because now it's okay. Joe went over clean. That was good, and Joe needs to build, and the club needs to build.
Speaking of the tag team division, in this match they mentioned Dash Wilder fractured his jaw.
Because I read that news, but I
they mentioned it. They said that that the rival is gonna be out for a few months, about 6 months.
Yeah, wow.
Or 4 to 6 months, something like that.
But you know why? You know why that's okay? Because to me, with the Hardys with the titles, and nobody else is really, they having a good feud with Cesaro and Sheamus right now, and Raw can't balance multiple feuds for their life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so to just keep them away, that just automatically gives you a reason. Or else you would have had to keep them away for the titles for a couple months, giving them nothing. You know what I'm saying? They would have had nothing for them. I promise you. They would have just
kind of like the whole Finn Balor situation.
Yeah. Exactly.
So
an interesting thing, we might as well move on into the Finn Balor thing. They just have him facing randoms right now. Yeah,
he went and faced Kurt Hawkins. Kurt Hawkins did a challenge and he came out.
Yeah, I don't know if I don't know the
The good
point,
thing,
but
the good thing about that is that last week we spoke about that he had a concussion, and I was like, maybe they'll have him come back next week and just show him his face and not wrestle and stuff. But he came back, he wrestled, so it's not serious. It was minor. He's good. He could continue wrestling, and yeah, hopefully, there's no long term effects, from this situation.
yeah. Does did Bray make an appearance right then and there or no? Because I remember
Um,
Bray made an appearance, but I'm not sure if it came right then and there.
no,
Okay, he didn't address Balor at all, did he?
no,
Balor also he
no.
has a new logo. Did you see the BC?
Yeah,
It looks dope, I thought. And the way it says
yeah,
Balor, the lettering across the Titantron when he came out,
yeah.
I thought it looked dope. And
Yep,
he has
yep.
a new shirt out with those letters, I believe, the BC and stuff. I just thought it was
Okay.
cool. I thought it was worth mentioning. Anyway, and since we're on Bray Wyatt and we're not just trying to go in order, we're just everywhere. We're just trying to mention the significant points. I don't like that Bray Wyatt is on Raw addressing Randy Orton in a promo.
Yeah.
Like, what?
And then he's on SmackDown addressing Randy Orton as well. Like,
Yeah, like, what
this
the
guy's
fuck?
like, he's on both brands for what it
Yeah,
seems like
exactly.
right now.
Exactly.
So that's weird. But hey, I'm not mad at it. But when I did see it Monday night, I was like, okay, Bray Wyatt on Raw addressing Randy, and like Randy's not there, so why even?
Exactly. That's my problem with it. Like, I'm okay with him
Yeah,
being on SmackDown. I'm okay with him popping up on SmackDown because it adds to the aura of Bray Wyatt. Oh, man, Bray is here. Belongs
like
to Raw, but he's here to address Orton. That's fine.
yeah.
Okay. But don't be on Raw addressing Randy Orton. It doesn't make any
And
sense.
only Randy Orton after you just popped up during
With Finn.
Finn's
Exactly.
segment last week and kind of called him out and said your pass will cross soon.
Which is exactly why I asked you, did he address Finn? Because I didn't
Build
remember.
on that, and as well say, and Randy Orton, once I'm done with you,
Exactly.
or once I'm done with Randy Orton, Finn, I did not don't sleep on me. Don't forget, I'm still gonna be around on Raw.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Something in between those lines, not just talking about Randy.
I don't understand how they can't balance that. Like, that's so easy to do, it seems.
Yeah.
I don't understand it, but I didn't really love that too much.
Speaking of Brado and his match with Randy, the House of Horrors match, I listened to Edge and Christian's podcast. I think I mentioned it to you that like they have a new podcast, and
Yes.
they interview Goldberg, they interview Shane McMahon, the Revival, but in one of their episodes, okay, the week that Bray announced the House of Horrors match, they did an episode before that day. And they were mentioning how when they debuted and they were going up against Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy, the Hardy brothers, Michael Hayes had an idea for them called the House of Horrors match, where there would be like illusions and things in a spooky house, and they would fight in the house. They just randomly mentioned it, and they said that the thought of it was dope to them, but that it never came to fruition. And they were like, that match would probably be a really good match nowadays. They have so much more technology that they could do. I think what made them mention that was the fact that in Randy and Bray's match,
they were showing the graphics,
the projections, yeah. And then the following week, Bray Wyatt announced that they're gonna have that match, and then they had an episode after that on that podcast. They was like, wow.
We just
that match is happening. We just mentioned it. We had no idea that WWE was going to bring it up or have this match. There's no connection here, guys. Like, I know you guys probably think so, but it was just a random thought we just were talking about.
That's crazy.
And look, so that's crazy.
I mean, I hope it's good, especially like they said, all the new technology now. And
they said if there's one person who could pull it off nowadays, they think Bray Wyatt definitely could do it.
Exactly, which is what I've been saying. Like, I'm hoping the fact that Bray has something to do with it could make this match seem a little less gimmicky and be actually dope.
Yeah.
But to move on, we're going to keep it here on Raw. We had Miz TV with Dean Ambrose.
Miz TV, Dean Ambrose, yeah. That was cool.
Did you notice, this is how I felt about it anyway. I felt like the way Miz was attacking Dean was reminiscent of the way that people were talking about how Stone Cold kind of attacked Dean on the podcast. Like he was like, you got lazy. He was like, you just don't care. Like you're not a fade. Like he mentioned his title run and how he just kind of faded out. He lost his title and
didn't do nothing with his opportunity.
Exactly. It was almost as though I got the feeling like, okay, since we are a wrestling / sports / whatever the fuck we want podcast, let's make this, let's combine these two things for a second. Steve Smith, NFL wide receiver. One thing I've heard him say he does is he looks up facts about the cornerbacks he's going to face in the upcoming week, in his upcoming matchup. Wow. And so that he can talk shit to them. And like almost like he studies them. You know, what might bother them. You know, what's their parents' name. Shit like that. Like deep shit.
Wow.
Yeah, like Steve Smith's a savage. Like, you know Steve Smith, bro.
Yeah, of course.
Next level.
I know he's a savage. I thought he was just a savage with the skills. I didn't know it was that serious.
Nah, bro, I've heard this. And when I was hearing what Miz was saying, I almost felt like he did his research type shit. Like he was like, you know what? How can I attack Dean Ambrose to make this feel real? And I feel like he was like, you know what? This Stone Cold podcast, it got some controversy. You know, there was some controversy about it. You know, maybe I could bring this up. And
but one thing I am going to say, though, about Dean, I liked how he was like, you know what? I just got to do this. OH. And the crowd was like, I-O. Because he was in his hometown.
Yep, I love that.
And the crowd was the most live he's ever had a crowd. And he was like, even he was blown away. He was like, wow, that was pretty cool.
Exactly.
Like, he was blown away by that reaction. That was dope. That was a dope moment for him.
Yeah. And I thought that because Miz it seemed like Miz got a little personal right there. Because in a way, that was the same kind of way that Stone Cold, like I said, kind of attacked Dean's character. Like, Dean is very chill and laid back. And it could come off as lazy. And that's what Stone Cold said. And that's what The Miz said. And that's what he kind of came at him for that a little bit. And I thought it brought out a dope Dean Ambrose promo, like, because Dean Ambrose almost seemed like maybe he was just, selling it well, but Dean Ambrose kind of seemed like, it bothered him a little bit, and he got into his shit when he grabbed the mic. So I thought that was dope. What did you think?
I thought the same thing. I thought exactly the same thing. I liked it. The only thing is that we called this from a mile away, that this is going to be the first feud for Ambrose and fucking Miz, and Miz is just going to get the belt back so then Dean could be involved in some Shield bullshit.
Yeah, exactly.
But it is what it is.
You know what else I thought about? I'm glad you just mentioned this shit. We are just moving. All right. When I thought about the club going over clean, I felt in the back of my mind, like, are they going to try to build the club up to be good again so that at some point they could team them and it'll be Balor Club versus the Shield now that they got them all on the same thing? So will they build up, when I saw them, because to me, the club almost never looks good. You know what I mean? They always find a way to shit on the club. But now, they have them win clean against Enzo and Cass, who rarely ever lose, I feel like.
Yeah, you're right.
And now I'm thinking, like, okay,
and
are
if
they
they do lose, it's like
up?
a DQ or some shit.
Exactly. So I'm like, are they trying to build up the club again? And, they got all these guys on the same show. I could see them playing into that. So I wouldn't want it too soon, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't want the Shield back together for a while.
Me neither.
Like, yeah, you're forcing it.
Yeah, like, give it to 2020. Come on.
Exactly. Like, let these dudes breathe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But it is what it is. Also, going back to Braun Strowman, because we do got to touch on him.
Pause.
Some more, because he was like sprinkled.
Relax.
Pause. Yeah, he was sprinkled.
You gotta touch on him a little more.
But like a ref came up to him in the night and was like, you have to leave, and he's like, I'll leave when I want to. In a dark room, just sitting there, and the ref's like, and then the ref's standing there. He's like, do you understand? I don't know. I don't remember exactly what he said. He was like, you got it. Like, and the guy's like, all right, like, leave what you want. And then,
Yeah.
like, the next time we see him, he's just dragging Kalisto.
Yo, it was
Like, for
mad
no
funny.
reason.
And then
dragging him.
And then he throws him in the garbage.
Fucking
That was
garbage.
fucking classic.
Fucking, oh my
And then,
God.
since we're on this, out of nowhere, he gets, like, blindsided. And it's the Big Show who, like,
Yeah, he's like, pick on
shoves
someone
him
your own
into the-
size.
Yep.
I like that. And that kind of ties into, like, that whole thing we were talking about, how every time it's someone big, someone, like, we want to see him clash with, he backs down.
Exactly.
He walks away. And he says, on my time.
Exactly.
But this time, he just got blindsided. It's like, what up?
And
I loved how they
and
did
he
that.
did look like the little bitch he looks like when he does back down. He just kind of sat there, kind of mad, and he didn't get up.
Like-
he didn't immediately
like,
get
oh,
up. He was
shit.
almost like in shock that someone kind of stood up to him. And every time
Yeah.
someone stands up to him, like you said, he backs down, and right there, he looked like there was the fear. Big Show put the fear in him right there.
For a classic main event, like, I can't front. Last time they had that main event, we were both saying,
that was big time.
yo, impressive. That was a great match. And to see them do like, Strowman do so good with another big man, it was amazing. And then they did not let down this time either.
Yeah, but before we jump to that, we don't like to go in order, but we're going to save that for the end. But
Yeah, because we had a women's match for number one contender
we did.
spot. We had a cruiserweight match, which was pretty dope. TJ Perkins, I'm liking the bad guy TJ. I'm
I
liking
do.
him as a
I
bad
do.
guy. And we had Chris Jericho backstage again with the promo
Yes.
saying
He said a lot of things. He said
a lot of things. I'm gonna let you touch on it more so because I just remember he was about to put someone on the list.
Okay. I mean, I remember he said that America deserves the face of Jericho.
Word.
Frame it in, man. I remember he
Frame
said that.
it in, man. Yeah, that was so funny.
He did mention the loss to Joe, and he mentioned it like he was like almost like he put over Joe a little bit too. Like he was like, Joe's a good competitor. I'm paraphrasing.
Yeah.
But then we had Elias Sampson drift through his promo.
Randomly. And he was like, dirty, doofy drifter.
Yeah, exactly.
You dummy. Downer drifting.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he said mad
I
D's
believe he
and
called him a
shit.
dowager at some. I didn't know what that meant. Something like that. I could even be saying the wrong word. But, and then he started calling the man interviewing him. He started calling him Tom.
Tom,
And
yeah.
he was like, that's not my name.
I'm Mike. He
And
was like,
He's
you're
like,
Tom.
He's like, I've spent all this time trying to get your name right. I finally got it. And now you're going to tell me your name's something stupid like Mike? And then he ends it by calling him Mike Tom. He just calls him Mike Tom the whole time.
And then Mike ends up calling himself Tom.
Oh, yeah, he does like the classic
Daffy Duck.
Yeah,
Elmer
exactly.
Fudd
where he's like, I'm Mike. He's like, no, you're Tom. He's like, Mike, Tom, Mike.
Yeah.
Like,
but you know what's funny? I don't know if you peeped this, but like months ago, I love that they did that now because months ago, this legit happened when Mike was interviewing Chris Jericho and Jericho called him Tom. But Mike didn't say nothing because, Tom Phillips.
Yeah.
And you're not going to tell Jericho, my name's Mike.
Exactly.
Right? But afterwards, they caught that he called him Tom, like, fans and shit. So on social media, Jericho posted a picture with Tom Phillips and Mike and said, which one's Tom? Like, which one's Tom? It was just a joke on social media, and Jericho brought it to live television and made it a segment. And that's what makes Jericho one of the greatest of all time.
Yep. And then Mike Tom was going to make the list.
Yep.
But instead, Elias Sampson made the list.
Drifted through. Yeah, that shit was dope.
So I thought that was great. I thought that was funny. Let's see, what else happened? Was there anything else you wanted to talk about TJP? Oh, the women's match. Let's
the women's number one contender match.
First of all, before we even get into the match, I wanted to say that throughout the night, they were actually playing promos for each woman in the match.
Okay.
Short little promos, not amazing, but like I like that they were like building up to it, showing everyone's kind of individual story. So that was dope. Now you can get into the match.
Well, the match to me was pretty dope. Naya looked good. I love Naya. I'm
Yeah,
starting to slowly become big fan of her. But as opposed to when she debuted, I felt like they weren't doing shit with her.
exactly.
But Naya was looking super strong throughout the whole match. Mickey James, she was the veteran doing her thing. Sasha, she's always in the mix, making it look good. She's looking good at what she does. But all in all, Alexa Bliss came out of nowhere and steals the win.
Bro,
And
Alexa,
proves why she's a main player in the women's division no matter what brand she's on.
let me tell you. First of all, I love that. I love that they even decided, like, you know what? Alexa's going to win this match. I love that. I loved
Yeah.
when she got up on the turnbuckle and Nia, like, stared at her. And Alexa kind of was like, nope. Like, shook her head, nope.
I'm
and
good.
just got down. And just left, like, stayed outside the ring. That was great.
And you're the one who like always noticed that in her, that she had that personality that made her special and made her good.
Yeah.
I always thought she was a plain character. Like I didn't know what her character really was, so I really didn't have no expectations, and I didn't really, I wasn't behind her too much. But the more and more I watched SmackDown, I was like, yo, her character, her mic work, she's good. And little things like that is like what really, 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 really makes her fucking awesome and so dope. And I fuck with her too, and I love that whole part of the match as well.
Yep, I thought it was dope. Alexa wins. She's the number one contender. Do we think she's gonna dethrone Bayley? I'm afraid that it's just like, oh, we need an opponent for Bayley to beat. But Alexa, like, think about Bayley's
She's
character.
legit.
Think about Bayley's character, and then think about Alexa's character. And just to me, it's like the ultimate goody two shoes versus the ultimate like opportunist. Not to give her the name, Edge made famous, but
yeah.
Like Alexa's that
she can be the
chick,
female ultimate opportunist because Edge is no longer around anyway. So
I just didn't want
give her that fucking name.
I just didn't want to throw some. I just didn't want to make it seem like I wasn't putting respect on his name.
Of course.
But I love Alexa, and when you think about it, Bayley's goody two shoes. Alexa's like she'll do whatever it takes, and like I could just see her like she's going to just she can beat Bayley at the mental game. And she can take advantage of Bayley. And, I just feel like she can manipulate Bayley. And if they have time where they interact, who knows? But I like this. I hope Alexa wins. I don't think they're going to do it, unfortunately. But who knows?
Yeah.
I would love Alexa with the title.
Yeah. I can see it happening because, like you said, the characters, the ultimate goody two shoes versus the ultimate female opportunist.
Ooh.
I can just see that being a great feud. Not even just one match, one opportunity. Alexa wins, but Bayley eventually rematching, and this feud actually, picking up and being something great. My only one fear is that they so badly want to keep Sasha in the picture.
Yeah.
Because like it started off where Sasha was like last week saying, you're my best friend and all that. I love you, but you need to give me a shot at my title, like my belt, like turning bad. But at the same time, as she was about to say that, get interrupted by I think it was Alexa and Nia and you know what happened.
Exactly.
Yeah, Mickey. So that's my one fear. Like, come on, we all do want to see Sasha continue and become a champion again as well and be a main superstar for the women's division. But Alexa got the win clean, even though she stole her the chance from Nia. Who cares? That just plays more into her character. Give Bayley a feud with Alexa, and let's see fucking Sasha and Mickey or something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Keep Nia hovering around that title picture. Keep Sasha in the back foot just for a little while.
Yeah.
Please.
I can agree. So, what else? We got one thing and then the main event. Jeff Hardy, Cesaro. Had a good match. Jeff Hardy wins.
First single match.
Exactly.
In 8 years.
That's crazy.
On WWE program.
Crazy to think about.
Dope.
Jeff wins via Swanton Bomb.
Yeah.
Good match. After the match, they shake hands. Both tag teams.
That was like a dream match to see, like Cesaro versus Jeff Hardy.
It was so crazy.
Damn, that was so fucking dope. I really liked that match too.
And one thing I read recently, because I was thinking about it, and I had mentioned it in one of our Instagram posts, but WWE ignores all the broken kind of stuff from Matt Hardy's character,
Yeah.
but the crowd knows it.
Of
But
course.
WWE doesn't acknowledge it, and I was like, how long are they going to do that? And apparently, they just don't have the rights, but they're working on a deal to acquire those.
Yeah.
So
if there's anybody I believe can get that rights for the Hardy Boys,
the man with the
it's
money.
WWE.
Yeah, like,
No doubt about
the
it.
man with all the money.
Of course. Now, what I did notice too was that there was a segment backstage before the match where they interviewed the Hardy Boys. The first time they've actually gotten to talk since they've been back.
Mm.
So that's cool. At least on television, because they've done like website stuff.
Yeah.
But their shirts were very reminiscent of old school Hardy.
Yeah.
Purple with the lime green. I think it was said like rebuilding to the faith or some shit. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was cool. But Matt still gives that
accent,
little
a little bit of
accent of broken Matt Hardy and the delightful stuff.
And then now that you mention it, finish it though.
I would love to see how from that they tear those shirts and like they become broken again. I just pray WWE gets them their rights so that we can see that in the WWE universe.
But as you mentioned, they've been, Matt still has that hint of it. And then I mentioned this to you earlier in the week. Matt Hardy had a tweet. Let's save it. Well, because it has to do with the main event.
Well, it was
right after. It was immediately after the main event. And okay, so let's get into the main event then, and we'll come back to that tweet. So in the main event, like
there ain't much to talk about the main event. The main event was good.
Should we just skip to the end of it? The main event was
great. And the end was fucking delightful.
It was great, and they built to it so well. And even from last time they had a match, like that actually helped build to this even more.
And they had a few top rope spots where Strowman went up for like his drop kick stuff or something like that, and instead he got hit with a
KO punch.
A KO punch, and they teased the top rope shit. But all in all, in the end, Strowman got Big Show up there, hits him with a superplex, and the ring breaks. This is the third time this has ever happened in WWE history. And Big Show has been a part of all three times.
Yeah.
So that's fucking amazing.
Showtime.
Yeah, and fucking, this is like Big Show's most iconic moments of his career that they'll always show. Every time that he got superplexed, the ring has broken.
Love it.
So that's dope. That's fucking dope to have that.
Even better is when they went off the air. First of all, after the superplex, Braun Strowman gets up and is like, yeah,
and he starts fucking raising his arms. Beastly, yeah.
And
real beastly.
And when it goes off the air, they show Big Show leaving the ring, and the crowd just gave him a hell of an ovation. I don't know if you saw the video.
No.
It was dope, and Big Show looked like he was ready to cry. Like, it was awesome.
That's cool.
Not that Big Show's done, but it looked almost like it was done right there. The way he just
we said it a few times where we thought he was almost done.
Yeah.
Even his match at Roadblock, I think it was, against
something
Rusev.
Like that. Yeah.
And where he went off on Rusev and finished him with like 3 KO punches.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying?
I just think this is like his kind of like his swan song. And his last little
he's
run.
Towards the end of the road.
Exactly. And I think he's just appreciating every single time the fans are really there for him. I think he's just like soaking it all in, and it's awesome. Yeah.
He'll always be around. He'll always be a part of the WWE universe.
Yo, bro, he's great, bro. He needs to be around and kind of like how they kept Kane around. Like, he's classic, bro. And I know, he could bring stuff to the table. So, also,
he definitely can't be bringing those superplexes for much longer, though. His old ass. Big Show, you want to come to the No Politics podcast? Come through.
Yo, and when I watched that, I was like, yo, it would be dope if, like, Big Show was our first. Like, I legit had this thought. Like, if Big Show was our first guest, that would be crazy. And I
heard Big Show's a tough guy to get on his good side. Like,
really?
If he don't know you.
I feel like he seems so nice.
I heard he's mean.
He seems so welcoming.
Nah, dog.
I don't know. I feel like
we wouldn't have the right seats for him to sit in.
Here's the thing.
He'll start getting tight. I'm telling you.
I feel like we're gonna.
We give him a chair. He'll break that shit. He'll never want to come back.
We'd get him in, and it would be like I feel like we'd be playing like good cop, bad cop. Like I'd be so nice because I think he's the nicest guy, and you're so like awful to him because you swear you know that you've heard he's mean and stuff, and it's hard to get on his good side. So
I would never be the bad cop. I would be like, Mr. Show, how may I help you today?
Well, I would play back this footage, and then he wouldn't love you so much.
And then I'll play the part. I'll be like, I would never in his face be mean to him. Not even behind his back. I'm not being mean. I'm just saying I heard he's mean.
That's crazy. I just always thought he was the nicest guy. He just looks so nice.
Like a big friendly giant.
Yeah. But anyway.
Back to our initial statement about relating Matt Hardy to the main event.
Exactly.
Matt ended up tweeting, "The ring is broken."
# broken.
I can relate.
What a great tweet.
Hell yeah.
Such a great tweet. I loved it. I thought it was great. I thought Raw overall was dope.
Me too.
That was pretty much it for Raw.
Yeah.
I thought it was a good show. It was, and like I said, it wasn't spectacular. I mean, the ring breaking, you could label that somewhat spectacular. But the show overall wasn't spectacular, but it was solid, and it was just a good, solid episode. It doesn't always have to be spectacular. It just shouldn't be bad. As long as it's solid, as long as you move stories along, stuff like that. So I was happy overall with it. With that being said, we could jump into SmackDown. We could take a break. Up to you. Doesn't matter. We could finish SmackDown, then hit our break, then get into the NBA.
Let's take a break right now.
Take a break. My partner probably got to use the bathroom.
Yes.
So we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back to talk SmackDown and then hit you with some NBA talk.
Odell when I touched down. New women had it for a while. Ted drive, switch it out now. I was young, did a fade with it. Now it's Kobe with a fade with it. 60 on the every game with it. Ain't no question, I stay with it.
Tomorrow's my off day from the gym, so I'm good.
Word. I was wondering what you meant by off day.
I knew you were, and I was like surprised you didn't ask.
I was like, oh.
Wait, I figured you thought it was you. I was just making a joke.
That was right before SmackDown started. You said that, right?
I think so.
I went to sleep. That's why.
You can't wake up to it. You can't send a good morning text.
Damn, whoa. Whoa, bro.
I mean, like, you can't wake up, not a good morning text, but it's like the morning's good and you respond and you happen to send me a text that morning and the morning just happened to be good.
I think I did send you a text. I just didn't respond to whatever you said about having an off day. I just was just like, yo, breakfast was crazy this morning. I don't know.
Alright,
B.
Alright, we ready?
Bugging, son. Hit ass.
Oh my god.
Alright.
Hold on, I gotta stop laughing. Do you remember how SmackDown kicked off?
Charlotte.
There we go. 3.
And she said she's only been there 7 days and she's already tired of Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan. That was classic. Alright, you ready?
Ready.
Stress it all what it was. If it rain, then the light gon' come. One take on another one. Strategize just to keep it calm. I decide if it's made that run. Funds with the funds, ain't no fun. Time spent well with the hits. Funds with the funds, time spent well with the shit. Team 4, all this real, man. Shaw, I can't miss. 1 for a mile. Either way you break it, I need it.
Welcome back to the No Politics Podcast. If you made it this far, we done talking about Raw. We're gonna move on to SmackDown right now. SmackDown was cool. I enjoyed it. I'm a SmackDown guy. I almost always love SmackDown, but that don't mean I praise it by any means necessary. Like I'll rip it apart if I don't like it. And one thing I didn't like, this was actually announced prior to SmackDown, was the 6-pack challenge for the number one contender for the WWE title. I hated that.
Yeah. There's a few things I'm gonna talk about that kind of didn't make sense that SmackDown did this week that I have to bring up.
Yeah, there's
But
a few.
There's a few things.
Yep.
And that 6-pack challenge is one of them.
Yep.
Because I know what you're gonna get to about that.
All right, read my mind. Go ahead.
Why is there a 6-pack challenge that AJ Styles is not interested in, but instead he wants to go after the US belt?
Same for Corbin.
Same for Corbin.
Exactly.
They're so interested in US belt, but there's a 6-pack challenge that you're gonna throw Mojo Rawley and fucking
exactly.
Eric
Jinder
Rowan
Mahal,
in.
Eric Rowan.
Yeah.
If they had, little did they know, had they waited a week, they would have had a better opportunity. Like,
Right?
wow,
Exactly.
cool.
Yeah.
It's just and then the fact that a lot of these guys are just like not but like it was almost amplified. Styles and Corbin not being in it was amplified by the fact that Rowan and these guys were in it. That's
And
like it was bad enough that they just weren't in it, and then the fact that but Rowan and Rawley and these guys are in it. It's like
and I love Mojo. I like him.
Exactly.
He's a cool guy.
Mhm.
He's freaking hype, bro, and he
Okay.
stays hype. He don't get hype. He just stays hype. So
and that's great. It's so
I
great.
really like him.
That's so great of him.
But then they put AJ and fucking Baron Corbin in the main event, like the number one contenders match for the WWE Championship that's being defended on the Raw pay-per-view. Doesn't even mean nothing. Like, you're gonna put it like the second match of the night, and then the U.S. title number one contenders match is still the main event type shit.
Here's another thing that it's almost as though Bray doesn't have, Orton doesn't have a title match coming up.
Yeah.
Like, you're already getting the number one. Why would you even get the number one contender this early?
And then it's like, JBL's like, spoiler alert, if you didn't see it, Jinder Mahal fucking wins the number one contenders match. And JBL's like, literally like, Jinder Mahal's gonna face Randy Orton. Well, how do we know? Because Randy still got to defend his belt against fucking Bray Wyatt in the House of Horrors match.
It's such a fucking afterthought. Like, like, you're not, like, come on. Like, it's so
like literally
done.
saying, like, don't tune in to the House of Horrors match because we know Randy's going to win. And Jinder then's going to fucking face Randy. Wow. I mean, does somehow, some way this match get taken away from Jinder? Do they really go through with this? Like I said at the start of this episode, SmackDown, at least they're proven they're definitely the land of opportunity, giving Jinder Mahal, the guy who just got washed by fucking Finn Balor when Finn Balor had a concussion last week, this week's earning a number one contenders match. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
The man who can't even beat Mojo Rawley.
Wow, yeah.
You know what I mean? He gets a number. The one thing that was good, though, about that match, the Bollywood Boys, I'm assuming, are now a part of SmackDown, which adds to their tag division.
I love that.
So that's cool, and I wouldn't mind seeing the Bollywood Boys aligned with Jinder.
Exactly. Like, Jinder winning is like, what? But at the same time, it's like, wow, but they gave us something unexpected on 2 counts. Jinder winning and the Bollywood Boys helping him out. Like,
yeah,
two big things that we didn't expect. Like, one thing I give to SmackDown is it's not always great. We don't always love it. But they give us something different, Like, I can't say the same for Raw all the time. A lot of times Raw gives us the same, and they seem to play it safe a lot of times. They'll give us, the same kind of matches, But SmackDown, they do riskier shit. Jinder Mahal winning a number one contenders match on Raw, get the fuck out of here. Never would have happened. You know what I'm saying? So I did appreciate that. Another good thing to take away from this is that first of all, I did enjoy the match. I got to be honest. The match was enjoyable. Yeah, it was good action. It wasn't bad. And putting these guys, even though it seems like, man, they shouldn't be fighting for a number one contender spot, but putting that spotlight on them and giving them this chance, it's going to help them. It's gonna help
Yeah.
us see them like, okay, I guess he built his stock a little. Mojo looked good again. Harper, Ziggler, and Zayn already look good, so they're
Yep.
fine. Mojo looked
Rowan,
good though, and even Rowan looked solid.
Yeah, Rowan did look solid.
So, and then Jinder comes away with the win.
Yeah.
It was, and now with the Bollywood boys, he's kind of formidable. So at least they're actively trying to build a very balanced roster.
Yeah.
They're not
yeah.
afraid to put over some of these other guys that are just jobbers on Raw.
Yeah, you're right. And not well, it doesn't matter what order we go in, but you can also say that about the Shining Stars.
Exactly.
The Shining Stars looked legit. The finish was kind of
And they don't call them
funny.
the Shining Stars anymore.
Cologne Brothers.
They called
the Colognes.
So
Yeah.
I like that too.
But
Continue.
they looked legit. I fucking love the fact that now I feel like they're gonna be build up as a formidable tag team now on SmackDown, and only on SmackDown would they have that opportunity. And I definitely fuck with that. I definitely like that about SmackDown. And yeah, that shit was cool. And they're gonna do the same thing with Jinder. Hopefully, let's not. Maybe the fucking opportunity gets taken away from him. Who knows? We still got a few more. What is it? 4 or 5 more weeks before Backlash.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
We got a while.
Another thing is that, like you said, they're giving these guys, they're making these other guys look good, like the Colognes, and it doesn't really, it's not at the cost, it's not really making the top superstars look bad in the process. Like, because, like I said, Zayn, Harper, and Ziggler were all in that number one contenders match, and they didn't win, but it doesn't hurt their stock.
Yeah.
I still see Harper, and I'm like, yeah, Harper's been dope. And I still see Zayn, and I was like, Zayn was right there from winning. Zayn would have been the winner had the Bollywood boys not have held him when he was trying to go for the haluva kick.
Yeah.
And Ziggler, we don't even have to say nothing about Ziggler. You know what I'm saying? Ziggler could put on a hell of a fucking match. So,
I still want to see Ziggler Shinsuke.
Exactly.
Shinsuke.
And they didn't even... And I like that they cooled on it a little bit. And some people, now that you mentioned Shinsuke... Some people
that was another thing I had to pick at.
But,
he wasn't there.
Okay, agreed. But I didn't want him there. The reason it's bad that he wasn't there is because you're like, okay, Rowan, but not Shinsuke. That doesn't make any goddamn sense, and that's true. Accurate statement.
Yeah.
But I don't actually want him in that yet, because for us we know, but nobody else actually knows Shinsuke. Think about that. Like, the casuals don't know that Shinsuke is 10 times, 100 times better than a lot of these guys.
Future champ.
Exactly.
Hands down. But it's not even that he wasn't in that match. He wasn't on the show at all.
Because Ziggler was in the match, actually, yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? And it's like, I got confused because at one point they said, up next, Shinsuke Nakamura. Maybe I didn't hear what the commentators said.
Who is Shinsuke
completely.
Nakamura is what it was. And they were going to show like a video package.
And then they just showed a package about it, which was a dope package.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? A lot of people, showing their respect to him and shit. But I don't know. I think we could have used him. At least give him a match. Like, why are you not even giving him a match? Even if it's a squash match.
Yeah.
What the fuck? You know what I mean? Give him Sin Cara. Give him somebody. I don't know.
But I feel like they are adding to this kind of like this aura about Shinsuke. Like, we still haven't seen him in a match. We saw him interrupt the Miz, come out and say nothing. Then we saw him come out to Ziggler, say, "You want to know who I am?" and do nothing else. Besides, kind of like make him flinch and do the come on thing. But like, it's like such a slow burn, and I think that's good for now. Keep the people confused. His first match should not be till he gets Ziggler at Backlash. How about that?
Yeah, why not?
If you could
like I
manage
said,
that,
we still got a bunch of weeks too.
If you could manage that, which I doubt they do it, they'll probably give him something. But if you could manage to keep him off, keep him out of the ring until the Backlash match against Ziggler to showcase him, like, that would be great. That's how I feel about that anyway. But
So, all in all, SmackDown only had like 3 matches. So we
yeah,
talked
it
about the
was
tag
short.
match. We talked about the number one contenders match.
Also,
We got a
let me
we got a
mention.
women's match.
Yeah, let me
What's up?
mention before we move on completely. Let me just tie up these loose ends. Jinder winning, he cut a promo after, and he was very anti-American. And I mentioned this on our Instagram. I just think it's so overdone. He doesn't have to be anti-America to be a heel.
Yeah,
Like, stop with the anti-America shit. It's so
it's like the easy way out for him.
exactly like every time you get a foreign guy, he's got to hate Americans. Like, come
But
on,
that might
stop.
not even be WWE. That might be him not even having anywhere else to go. Like when he gets the mic, maybe that's all he can do. Like, well, what do you boo me? Because I'm not the American. What American society pictures and
You could come
you
up with
know,
something. Well, that's if anything, that's on him too. Like, build a character. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? You could be that guy that people laughed at and made fun of because you were losing on the Raw brand and you were a
yeah,
jobber. You don't have to say jobber, obviously, but
yeah,
I'm a loser. But you know what? I come here and I'm gonna prove you all wrong, and you're all
and
booing me,
you're
and
all
that's
gonna
fine. And
respect
you're gonna
me.
exactly like you. Come on, we just came up with that now.
Yeah,
He doesn't have to default to the anti-American. There's stuff there.
yeah,
Which is why people were mad he won. You know why? Because they know he was a jobber on Raw. That's why. So if they know you're a jobber, play into that. They know you a jobber.
yeah.
All right, you know what? But I just proved y'all
Another
all
thing I
wrong.
gotta say, he was on the mic and then he doesn't even mention the Bollywood boys. He didn't even act like he got assisted.
I like that though.
I mean, you don't have to mention them, but I don't know. Who knows? Hopefully next week somehow, some way they tie up those loose ends between the Bollywood boys and Jinder.
Yeah, but
You know?
who even knows if he saw them? But they did. WWE. Here's the thing. WWE posted the picture with him and the Bollywood boys backstage in the locker room.
Okay.
So if you might have thought like, oh, maybe Jinder didn't even know because they were hiding like beneath the ring when they held Zayn. Maybe Jinder didn't see, but they did show a picture of them. WWE posted a picture of them in the locker room where it looked like they were conspiring.
Okay.
But so that's it with that. And the one thing I wanted to mention about the tag match, and I also mentioned this on Instagram, was that American Alpha is so good that they're already putting over other talent.
Yeah.
But it's okay because like I mentioned with guys like Ziggler, Harper, Zayn, like we know they're good. Their stock is not taking that much of a hit when you have this other talent, beating them and putting the other talent on them. SmackDown, if they keep the pace, they're gonna have such a balanced, solid roster all around. Is what it seems like because they're not afraid to have the lower card guys notch some big wins.
Yeah. The only thing that was kind of weird about that was like when whoever got the pin on Jordan, Gable was standing right there. Why Gable didn't jump in and break up the count? Like I mean, maybe
Gable,
he legit thought he would kick out or something. I don't know.
it was it looked funny, and I remember it. Gable was like talking to the ref for a second, and then like when by the time they kind of double teamed Jordan behind the ref's back, it was like it didn't even set in for Gable. I don't know, but I didn't think it was a botch or anything.
Yeah.
But it looked a little awkward.
It looked a little off, but I'm not mad at the Shining Stars, the Colognes getting the W, and like you said, SmackDown building a balanced roster.
Exactly. Now we should get into the women. So Charlotte actually kicked off the show.
Yeah.
If you didn't know, we got into a bunch of other things, but Charlotte actually kicks off the show, cuts a promo, basically says she wants a title shot.
Yep.
And Naomi comes out, and I like this segment. They go back and forth a little, and Naomi didn't say she was gonna snatch her bald again.
Naomi popped on her.
Naomi said some dope shit, I thought.
And then Naomi popped on her, pulled the robe over her. It was like a street fight for a minute. The way she was getting at her.
And then Charlotte came right back though. And then
Yep,
Naomi came I like
Charlotte
that.
took the robe off outside the ring and got right back in, like, let's go.
I
And
like
Shane
that.
McMahon got involved, mentioned it was going to be a number one contenders match. And then they went at it again after that.
Yeah, and it looked good, bro. Like, it looked good. It made them both look good. They both looked like they wanted it. You know, they both looked like fighters, like brawlers. And so Charlotte has a chance if she beats Naomi in a non-title match. She's the number one contender. But this ruffled the feathers of Natty, Carmella, and Tamina, who complained, like, where's our shot?
Yeah, she comes in and she gets a shot already just by asking for it.
So later in the night, Charlotte actually wins the match against Naomi.
Which was a dope back and forth match.
Dope.
I love the way they finished it, where Naomi went for that butt buster. Yeah. I don't know what it's called, but and Charlotte reversed it by kicking her. Charlotte kicks her in the back and then hits the natural disaster selection or whatever, right? Man, the natural selection.
You're botching all over the place.
What's her finisher?
I always call it the natural disaster. And I said,
I always call it that. Yeah, but the natural selection, which should be called the natural disaster. But anyway, she hits that. It was beautiful. Gets the clean 1-2-3 pin, and she's the new number one contender.
And then backstage, wait, were you going to mention this?
But that was a dope match.
Oh, absolutely.
No, that was a dope match.
And then backstage, she walks past Natty, Carmella, and Tamina, smiles.
And Natty bumps her.
No, what?
Smiles. When she was walking to the ring for the match, she also walked past them.
Okay.
Remember? And Natty bumped her.
Okay. And then after the match, she walks past them, smiles, and goes, woo! And
beautiful. Beautiful.
And I'm calling this now. Charlotte is not going to make it to her title match next week. Okay. There is no title match next week. Charlotte is going to get attacked. Yeah, there's no way Charlotte is getting her title match next week. Or they're going to cost her the match.
And that's what I was going to say too. It's crazy how, one week removed from the shakeup and you already got Tamina, Carmella, and Natalya like joining up, kind of like a little force with James Ellsworth. That's a little dope team. I like the way they looked all standing there together.
Yeah, I like, bro. Like as many people that hate Ellsworth, like I think he does his job every time he speaks.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
Yep.
You're supposed to hate him, and you're supposed to hate Carmella, and he does a great job. And he's super annoying, and it's great. Like, so. Yeah, I don't think that's my call right here. I don't think she makes it to that title match. She's gonna get ambushed backstage. She's not gonna make it to that title match. And SmackDown has done this before. Remember with the whole Styles title match, how they kept pushing it back when he was supposed to fight Ellsworth.
Yeah.
And they just kept putting it back. Like they'd be like, oh, tomorrow's or on SmackDown next week is the title match, and then something would end up happening. And shit like that. This match, I don't think is going to happen. Not next week. It'll be put off. That's my prediction. But
that's a good prediction. Let's see what happens.
Moving on, we had
a few packages. We had the Shinsuke Nakamura package, like we talked about, and then we had Ty Dillinger also. He was backstage. He got interviewed. And they asked him, why does he feel the crowd so behind him? And he was like, well, I can show you. I got something to show you better than I could tell you. And it was his whole package about being the perfect 10, which was dope. I like how they're doing that.
Wasn't as big as Aries' package, but it was a little throwback joke there. No, but pause. But, yeah, so we had those two packages. And then we had Kevin Owens, the face of America, have a U.S. Open challenge. And here's what I don't like.
This is my other thing I had to pick at.
I figured it was.
If you're having an open challenge, why the fuck does AJ Styles have to wait till Backlash?
Yes. And why would you have an open challenge if you know Jericho has a title shot at Payback? There are literally two people lined up to face you, and you're going to have an open challenge. Now, what I did like is that it was absolutely nobody. Yeah. That made it kind of okay. But you shouldn't be advertising an open challenge.
And the awesome thing about the whole segment was that it was a quick match. It was a job, but he squashed him. Then he said, and now I'm going to provide you with some great commentary. Stood ringside for the AJ Styles Corbin match. It had great banter back and forth with JBL, Byron, and Tom.
It was awesome.
It was amazing. Also, what I like about doing the open challenges, if you remember, Kevin Owens debuted in the WWE
with the U.S.
from
Open
the
Challenge.
U.S. Open Challenge against John Cena.
Yes.
And I think this gives a great opportunity for some people more talent to come to SmackDown, someone to debut eventually, one or two people, you never know. So, we'll see.
Agreed. And now, with that being said, we just had the main event, Corbin versus Styles.
Yep, which was a solid match. We've seen them be in multiple triple threat matches. I think they might have had one or two singles matches, maybe one. But we know that AJ can have a fucking awesome match with anybody. This match was dope.
Agreed.
Yeah.
No surprise. Like you said, AJ has a dope match with anyone, and Corbin's dope. Like, that's not even slighting Corbin. Like, Corbin's dope, and they did really well together. And then again, I enjoy the finish.
Yeah,
Styles
and it
wins.
doesn't make Corbin look
Doesn't make
weak at all.
Exactly. That's what I keep saying. SmackDown is doing so well. It's almost like nobody's stock is hurting. Nobody's stock has been going down. Think about it.
Yeah.
Nobody's.
You fight
Whose stock
outside.
has gone down on SmackDown lately?
You get Kevin Owens involved. Then all of a sudden he hits the counts at like 8. You hit him with the forearm. He falls over the banister. You roll in the ring. The count goes to 10. You win. Hard fought match.
Exactly.
Corbin doesn't look bad at
pinned.
all. Yeah.
It's great. Like, none of the losers are you gonna say look bad. Naomi didn't look bad. Who else didn't look bad? Corbin didn't look bad, obviously. None of the people in that 6-man
American Alpha
6-pack challenge looked bad. American Alpha didn't look bad. Like,
yeah,
solid. Like, nobody's losing any value, it seems. And while they're raising up everyone else's, so I dig it.
Yep.
I love this episode of SmackDown. Well, I didn't love it. I picked at
it
it
was,
a bunch.
It was a decent episode.
For all the things we picked at, it still turned out solid.
Yeah,
and that's a good
for
sign.
Sure.
That's
the thing with me. I had to pick at some things because majority of the time, SmackDown can be a flawless episode.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Especially with 2 hours. It's a lot easier to be flawless with 2 hours.
Yeah. But it was definitely a good episode. The commentary in the main event was phenomenal.
JBL
and it wasn't
KO
because
was
of
great.
It wasn't because of AJ Styles.
Yeah.
It's because JBL and fucking Kevin Owens, man. It was. I personally love the whole Face of America gimmick that he got going on, Kevin Owens.
I like it because it's funny to me.
Yeah.
I don't know how anti-American, like, it's less anti-American than like a Jinder Mahal or a Rusev gimmick.
Yeah.
It's more entertaining because Owens could make it entertaining, and that's the difference. You know, he's almost being Face of America because it's like, look, I'm from Canada, and I'm the United States champion. Like, you know.
Yeah, and he just found a way to pick at the fans and make the fans hate him as much as we love him anyway.
Exactly.
Still, we can boo him for the fuck of it.
Yeah.
And like literally his new entrance, the whole stage is his face.
It is hilarious.
Yeah, like I love it. It's cool, man. I can't wait to see how far he could take this.
Hilarious. Awesome. I love it. So yeah.
I personally don't want him to lose the belt to AJ. I want him to continue to hold the belt.
Yeah, I'm hoping something happens where Owens holds on to it. And maybe Styles has cost his opportunity or something. Maybe the Corbin thing, Corbin doesn't allow him to get a fair shot at it. And then that leads to a larger feud. But overall, dope episode of SmackDown. With that being said, dope week in wrestling. Like I said, it wasn't spectacular, but it was 2 solid episodes, I thought. And that being said, should we jump into some NBA, touch up on the playoffs, recap it a little bit, right quick?
Yeah, I mean, the series is still going on. Most of these series are only like 2 games in. We're about to be in game 3 starting tomorrow. Well, starting April 20th, Thursday. But yeah, let's just touch up on it, where our predictions seem to be going, how right they starting to look, and how wrong they might look.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. All right, so to remind you, we all pretty much picked all the top seeds, with a few caveats being, I thought that Milwaukee and Toronto would be an intriguing series, and I
Yeah,
thought if there was a lower seed in the East, watch out for Milwaukee. And then I also actually picked Utah to beat the Clippers,
yeah,
and I believe you picked Atlanta as a lower seed that could upset, and you didn't pick a Utah Clippers series winner.
yeah. I didn't pick
That's
that.
just a quick recap.
I actually picked the Wizards to win, but I said if there was one team I thought could upset,
Similar to how I said Milwaukee over Toronto.
Atlanta, because
Exactly.
especially 4 and 5 spot, like come on,
Exactly,
that
those are
easily
close.
could.
Exactly.
Yeah, but as of right now, Chicago and Celtics.
That's the big story.
That's the big story. Chicago's up 2-0, and we were all for the Celtics. Miracle year, crazy. They were the number 1 seed. Isaiah Thomas has been going off. Their team has been complete. Like they're a complete team. I felt like, Chicago. I think I mentioned that they didn't have too much time together as a team. Like
Yeah.
they're all just thrown together this year.
But
It's
they have a
it's
ton of
Rondo,
experience,
but
which is
that's
what
the
we
thing.
underestimated.
Exactly.
Like,
Exactly.
for all the D-Wade dunks that he misses, they still have a ton of experience.
Yeah.
You know,
And Jimmy Butler's
D-Wade
playing
is
like.
gonna come up short on some dunks because of all the experience, but it comes in handy in other places.
But honestly, and Jimmy Butler's playing like a man on a mission.
Exactly. And,
Yeah.
man, just so Boston's down 2-0. Do you think they come back?
I mean, they have to get a game. But if you lost 2 at home, how you gonna even take it? How you gonna win in Chicago? I don't know, man. I really don't know.
I think they
I
win
say,
it in 7.
huh?
I think they win it in 7.
You think it's going to 7 games?
Yeah.
I don't.
Because they're not going to win it in 6. I still think Boston wins it though.
Okay.
Which is,
Okay.
I think, Isaiah Thomas obviously going through something.
I'll tell you what though. Before you get into the Isaiah Thomas thing, because yes, he obviously is, and it's serious. It's a serious matter.
Yeah.
But if Boston don't get this next game in Chicago,
of course it's over.
It's sweep city. It's sweep city. Get the brooms out.
Of course it's over. I don't know if it's a sweep, but it's over. Now, with everything Isaiah Thomas is going through, it was like so fresh. But now maybe they get a few days off. He can obviously it's not going away. It's not something he's gonna forget. But maybe he'll be able to regroup, and maybe they pull it together. And they got good coaching. I'm not worried that they can't steal a game or two on the road. I'm confident they can do that.
Yeah.
And so that's why I feel like this is still a series. I'm not just gonna count them out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's hard for me.
I'm not counting them out either. Yeah. They definitely need this next one though.
So yeah,
they need game 3.
And if you don't know what we're referring to, Isaiah Thomas's sister died in a car crash recently. Earlier this week, I believe. And so
the day that the playoff started.
So that's what I meant. It was super fresh.
And he literally did not find out until 3 hours before the game started.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. One thing I did love was the Avery Bradley picture with Isaiah Thomas. I don't know if you saw that, but that it's when you hear that news, it's damn, that's crazy. That's always your first reaction, damn, what? That's crazy,
Yeah.
And then when I saw that picture, I was like, man, that's when that picture hit me, and I saved that picture. I was like, cause wow, that picture touched me, and just rest in peace. And
Our
condolences
condolences.
to Isaiah Thomas and his family and what he's going through right now.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Condolences from the whole No Politics family.
Yes, sir.
You know, the whole thing with Avery Bradley too. I heard Avery Bradley's the one that had to tell him and break.
Wow.
And nobody knew they were practicing, and when everyone was leaving practice, and Isaiah Thomas stood behind, still shooting, get his shots up, still practicing. And Bradley got to the locker room, and Bradley found out, and everyone was scared. Like, they
Yeah.
didn't know how to say it, and Avery Bradley's the one who went up to Isaiah and told him the news.
That makes that picture even crazy because I didn't know the backstory.
Yeah.
That's tough, man.
Yeah, man.
So like I said, our condolences. Crazy tough. But to get back into the rest of the games, I still don't count Boston out. Now, Milwaukee actually stole game one.
Yeah.
And
And they
Toronto
stole
might
it
not
beautifully.
win. Toronto might not win this. Whereas I could say even Boston down 2-0, I could say Boston still has a chance not counting them out. I'm not as sure with Toronto.
Toronto got game 2. They're tied up 1-1.
Yes.
But Toronto barely got it. Barely got game 2.
Yeah.
So
shaky.
it's going to be tough. And they're going back to Milwaukee for the next 2 games.
Shaky.
So, yeah, real shaky. The only thing that like for me, I feel Toronto has to win. They have more big names players that like you said have been in the playoffs and have that experience. So like for them to just lose to the Bucks, who really only
A
have
young team.
a rookie point guard and Giannis Antetokounmpo and the other
Yikes.
dude. Yeah, I don't even know how to pronounce his last name.
It's a tough one.
But the Greek freak,
There you go. Make it
and
easy
then
on
Don
yourself.
Maker. Like
Yeah.
he's a rookie too, I think.
I believe so.
So like for you guys to lose to this team, that's a major upset. Even though it is the playoffs, and if you're in the bracket, then you're elite.
Yeah. Well, not.
But it is what it is.
It's questionable to call them elite, but okay, I see what you're saying. All right, what else we have?
You see what I'm saying? You're the top 8 in your
We had
conference.
Cleveland and Indiana. Now, Indiana came really close in game one.
It was a beautiful
Yeah,
game.
that was an awesome game.
What a way to kick off the playoffs. That was the first game of the playoffs.
And I
What a
actually
way.
watched it through Skype on your device, whatever. I don't even remember what you were watching on, but I watched through that because my
PlayStation
cable
View.
was out, and it wasn't that I couldn't pay it. Of course, I paid my bills. I'm just saying, like there was some construction outside. There was an outage in my area. I guess money. So, but I caught the end of that one, the fourth quarter of that one, and it was a great game from what I saw, and
Yeah, man.
exciting finish.
Oh yeah. Paul George definitely should have had that last shot.
Yeah,
I'll tell you that much.
I mean, CJ Miles should have tried to get it back to him, but
he felt like he had a good
he
luck.
also
He
probably
came up a
felt
little
like,
short though.
in those late game situations, the one thing you don't want to do is not get a shot off or get the shot off too late.
Yeah.
And I could imagine like that clock is probably always faster in your mind than when you're out there and you're like rushing to get a shot. You see it all the time, when people just aren't super aware of the clock because like let's say the first shot is taken and it misses and someone grabs the rebound and they just scramble to get a shot up mad quick and then they might have had like 2 seconds to set their feet actually,
And then everybody hates that person.
But it's like it's so tough in that moment,
Yeah. But then game 2, I mean, honestly, did you see game 2?
Not really, no.
I didn't see game 2 either because I was watching Monday Night Raw.
But you gotta act like you saw it, bro. Just say some
But
nice things.
from the score, it definitely wasn't as close as. I mean, they won by 6, and it was a high score, 117 to 111. Damn, that must have been a good game too.
I did see it actually. I did.
Well, I saw some highlights. Paul George posted a few of those Cleveland players.
I actually did see some of it, and it was a good game. And I believe Cleveland pulled away in the end, if I'm not mistaken. Or Indiana was trying to keep it close, but just didn't make enough shots in the end. But Cleveland's got that series. Like they're up 2-0.
Yeah.
They're gonna finish that. Now Atlanta and Washington. Talk about it.
John Wall is
Man,
on.
Bradley Beal down the stretch of that last game was making big
Came
shots,
up big,
bro.
yeah.
I was like,
and it's like the same dudes I kept mentioning in Washington: Markieff Morris, Bradley Beal, John Wall, and you mentioned Otto Porter, who I kind of slept on. He had a good game too. Game 1, he was looking nice.
I be knowing, I know my stuff. Nah, I'm not gonna give myself too much credit, but yeah, I do like Otto Porter, and so I don't know, who do you have the rest of the series?
I got Washington,
Okay.
man. I mean, I don't know how many games. I could see Atlanta getting one, of course, but especially they're going home now. But I could also see Washington taking one on Atlanta's court and then bringing it right back home in Game 5 and finishing them off.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Now to move it to the West, we have San Antonio's up on Memphis 2-0. Houston
Which we said this is
up on OKC 2-0. Utah and LAC split.
Yep.
And as of right now, Golden State looks to go up 2-0.
Yeah, because we are currently recording this episode while Golden State.
While Golden State is hitting threes from everywhere, I'm witnessing this. And
what is the score?
They are up 21 with 40 seconds left in the third.
Oh, I'm lying. I'm on ESPN.com, so I actually do see the score. Yeah, 79 to 56.
Clay just started splashing threes the last time I looked up.
God. So, yeah, that's looking like it's going to be a sweep.
I don't know about a sweep, but 2-0. 2-0 for now.
Nah, but it's 2-0
and Warriors
for sure.
should finish it. And to me, San Antonio's going to finish it. Although Memphis did play them tough in, I think it was Game 1. I'm not sure. I really saw Game 1 and maybe not Game 2. Or I saw Game 2 and not Game 1.
Bro. Tough for the Game 1, tough for maybe the first half.
Okay.
After that, it was the Kawhi Leonard show.
Okay, so...
And it was disgusting.
So am I thinking Game 2?
And they got blown out by like 30 points.
Am I thinking Game 2?
Game 2, Kawhi Leonard had more free throw attempts than the whole Memphis team. So none of the games you're thinking.
Neither of them were close?
96-82 Game 2.
What was Game 1?
111-82.
Yeah,
Leaving them on 82.
What I meant was it was close, like in the first quarter when it was like zip. Like when I had seen it, because when I had turned it on and when I had first seen it, it was close at first. It was,
and it was close when we were talking about potentially how Memphis and San Antonio are always that can go either way matchup and bring out the best or the worst in each team. So it's looking like it's San Antonio's year this year to just smack up the Grizzlies and make them look bad.
But next year you never know. I'm just saying, when we would have called it here first. No 5-6
Exactly.
But
exactly.
San Antonio looks to come out of that series. And another series, Houston, OKC, we mentioned it. I straight thought that. I was like, for all the hype, and you said it too, for all the hype, Houston is going to win this series handily.
Yeah.
And Game 1, they handled business. Game 2 was a lot closer.
Yeah, we were just watching Game 2.
Yeah, Westbrook went off.
Got a triple-double and scored 48 points.
Yeah, like 51 by the end of it.
51? Oh, my God.
Had like maybe 10 rebounds, 13 assists or something like that.
Yeah.
So he was major. Harden had, I believe, like 35 or some shit like that, maybe 40. Close to 40, somewhere around there. Westbrook just doesn't have help.
That's all it comes down to. And James Harden, from what I've been seeing, be cooking.
Yeah.
Let me reiterate that. Cooking. You hear that raspiness in my voice?
You spell that CHHHOOOKIN apostrophe. That's how you spell that.
Yes, and don't forget the raspiness in the voice because I'm coming off being a little sick. Cooking.
Yeah.
But he be cooking Roberson, and Cantor and Steven Adams. Whenever he gets the mismatch, he puts them on skates. He puts them on skates, bro. It's ridiculous.
But I don't love Harden because he likes to flop and he likes to sell stuff.
Oh my god, that was so funny in game 2.
Yeah,
Fucking
I believe
Roberson puts a hand on his back. He's like, "Oh my god,
he like
so flimsy, so flimsy." Like, oh my god, like what the fuck are you doing, bro? It's not that hard to pivot your foot. Like he's trying to pivot and throw his back at the same time. Like, bro, relax, okay?
Yeah.
You just got the ball.
That's why I can't stand him. That's why, because never in all my years of playing basketball have I ever done that. I can't even imagine myself ever selling content. I was one of those players, not to talk too much about myself, but I'm one of those players that I would never call a foul. And when I did get fouled, it was such a hard foul that I didn't even have to say foul, and everyone was just like, "Your ball." That's the only time I got like fouls in my favor.
Word.
When it was so hard that I didn't even have to say nothing, and they would just be like, "It's your ball." I would never call foul outside of that.
Not to talk too much about it, I was the opposite. I was the fouler.
Okay.
Like,
you was knocking niggas out the air. I feel
I call it on myself. Foul! I just fouled you. Oh well. You know what I'm saying?
Sorry, but that was the best thing I heard all day.
For real.
You in the podcast today. Foul on yourself. That's perfect. Oh, okay.
Motherfucker, come up on me. Don't sleep on me too. I have hops.
Oh yeah.
So you try to come up on me, I'm going up with you for the block. It don't matter.
And I'm pulling your ass down.
And I'm bringing you back down. Exactly. And I'm calling it foul. For real.
Oh man, excuse the noises that I'm making. Pause. I'm just laughing, and all sorts of noises is coming out. But man, yeah. So I can't love Harden like that. Talented, extremely talented, kills. He be killing it, but just like I can't. Just not a fan. And then last series we got Utah, LAC. Utah won game 1.
Amazing too on a buzzer beater.
Mm-hmm.
Buzzer beater. Joe Johnson was cooking. Low key too. Low key. He was cooking. Gordon Hayward went off. George Hill, solid gameplay by him. Who are they big men? I know.
Here's the thing we gotta mention. Rudy
Gobert got hurt.
Very first minute of
20 seconds in the game.
It might have been very first possession.
Yeah. I guess he set a screen and one of the players on the Clippers, their knee hit into his knee and he just dropped down.
When he went to roll. So do I get to change my pick? No, but
Derek Favors was playing like he had something to prove.
Listen, I'm sticking with Utah because I called them and I'm gonna commit to that. But that's a tough loss for them. Yeah. It's 1-1. They're going back to Utah. I still got Utah. What about you? You gonna finally pick? Look.
I'm not
you didn't
picking.
pick last time. You didn't pick last time when it was 0-0, and now it's 1-1. So neither of them.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
And you.
Utah's gonna win. That's my pick. The Clippers, I don't think ever made it out the first round.
No, they have. Yeah.
No, I don't think they made it out the first round. No.
I think I'm lying. Yeah.
Yeah, you're lying. I think I read somewhere that's a stat that they never made out of the first round.
I almost feel like they had to have made it to the second at least.
Nah, bro, I don't think so. That's number 2. Number 3. Number 3. Let me finish. Number 3. Chris Paul and Blake Griffin. I think they're free agents this year. They're coming to the Knicks. They're coming to the Knicks. So
listen, everybody. I'm gonna address this.
If you know a New Yorker, then everyone's coming to the Knicks this year. Free agent, they coming to the Knicks.
I'm glad you admitted it and addressed it before I got to it.
I was just being sarcastic, guys. I know Working Genius, his blood is boiling. But Chris Paul and Blake Griffin's coming to the Knicks, bro. It is what it is. The writing's on the wall.
New York Knicks fans start talking about upcoming free agents in November. That's New York Knicks fans. They talk about who's next year's free agents in November and how they can bring them onto the team. That's Knicks fans every single year.
Laker fans too.
I don't know enough to speak on it.
Okay.
I do know Ya though, and I know Ya Notion. But so yeah, that's just the recap. I want to mention this because despite the fact that Portland's getting sandblasted by 25 with 11 minutes to go in the fourth in game 2, and they are down 1-0 in the series, looking like it's going to be 2-0. Now they're down 27 as I say that. Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum in game 1 were ridiculous. CJ McCollum especially. Damian Lillard just pulls up from anywhere. He could pull up from half court like it's nothing. And the range on and McCollum couldn't miss. It was just amazing.
Yeah, that was a good game. That was so close of a game, literally to like the last probably 6 or 5 minutes.
I think they're my new favorite backcourt. Yeah.
Yeah, I love them together
it was
too.
A close game. Yeah. They're my new favorite backcourt in the NBA. I can't think of any others that I like as much. Steph and Clay are obviously good, but
yeah,
Clay isn't as exciting. Like when Clay is just knocking shit down, of course, but like Clay isn't as exciting like on the dribble, off the dribble and stuff like that. Like McCollum and Lillard who create. You know what I'm saying? They can create their shots, and that's what I love about them so well. And I'm surprised, as similar as they are, they can play so well together.
Yeah, I've been a fan of CJ McCollum since he was a rookie, and he's a scorer, man. And like you said, for him being so similar to Damian Lillard, they make a great team.
Yeah, pretty incredible. But,
fun fact, CJ McCollum, I don't know if I said this before. He's from Lehigh County, Lehigh University. That's where I live right now, currently in Pennsylvania. So he's from out here. So people out here be repping him mad hard. So I had to they love CJ McCollum. Like he's like the golden boy from Lehigh. Like CJ McCollum, he's from Lehigh University, right?
He knocked off Duke as a 15 seed.
Yeah,
that was big time.
Yeah, like he's the golden boy. They're like CJ McCollum. He knocked off Duke. Remember?
Yeah. I mean, but with like small towns and stuff like that, like they all have like these people are like the shit to them.
I don't know if this is his hometown, but he definitely went to school out here.
But he definitely went to school, exactly.
I know for a fact he went to school out here. I'm not sure. He might just be from out here though. If I'm not mistaken.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That's
what's up. But all in all, man, the playoffs have been good. Yeah. Game 3 is coming up soon. This game 2 with Portland looks about to be done. I think it's down almost 30 right now.
Yes.
So safe to say, Golden State's going up 2-0 unless we see the greatest comeback in playoff history.
Which we will not. But with that being said, that's wrestling. That's NBA playoffs. We touched on it all. You want to touch on some music? Let's just do it all. Let's touch on some music. What you listening to? Let's make it short and sweet.
We definitely could touch on some music.
Why don't we have some segments like this? You know, we talk about music personally, you know, but we never really seem to find time for it. And for any of our music lovers out there, you know, why don't we just hit them every now and then? We hit them with what we listening to. How about that? Like what we listening to? What to look out for?
Okay, I'm not mad at that. I'll definitely rock with that. For anybody out there listening, I'm a huge fan of hip hop and R&B. I'm not closed-minded to any other kind of music. I'm not closed-minded to rock or you know, I don't know what other kind of music's out there.
Country.
Country, exactly. Yeah,
that's the only thing I don't listen to, actually. Country.
I mean, I would have if you give me there was this one song
if you
called
give me
Tennessee
fire,
Whiskey.
If you give me a fire joint, I'm gonna listen to it.
Bruh. Tennessee Whiskey.
I never heard the song,
that's
but
my
I
shit.
tasted
That's
it.
my shit.
I never heard the song, but I tasted it, and I have no complaints. So.
But that's my shit, and but anyway, hip hop's my main shit though, and all hip hop fans who is not listening to Kendrick Lamar's album right now.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
You went the easy route.
Damn. But I'm just saying Kendrick I'm listening to right now. I'm listening to some Designer. He dropped some new singles. I definitely gotta go on my phone to really check exactly everything I'm listening to. But I'm listening to that. Um, R&B tip. Mac Wiles dropped a new album that I'm feeling, and Logic dropped some singles I like. Of course, French Montana dropped a new song with Sway Lee. That's a banger. That's a hit right there. But yeah, that's what I'm listening to right now.
My turn.
Yeah, your turn.
All right. I've been listening to Kendrick, of course. My favorite track off that is Love. I just like no
Really?
pun intended. I love Love. Like
Okay.
if it's not Love, Triple X is awesome to me because he goes so hard on that. And then DNA and Element. Like those are my top tracks on there.
Okay.
But Love is number one. It was the first one that jumped out at me. I listened to that shit over and over. Love it. I don't know if you've heard "To the Light" by H. Al.
I didn't hear that song, but I heard A Shao.
It's
That's my
his.
guy.
It's his. Yeah, you actually put me onto him. It's his latest single, and that
Oh,
joint
okay.
is fire.
Okay.
And I also been listening to, which you also put me on, None of the Clocks Work, Amir OB.
Amir OB, yeah.
Man, he's just. I love that joint. And Joey Badass had a dope album, All American
Joey.
Badass.
Oh, how can I forget him? Yeah, I'm definitely
Exactly.
rocking his album right now too.
Exactly. So I've been listening. I listen to a lot of hip hop as well, but I also listen to a lot of like R&B and smooth joint. You know, I listen to a lot of Magic Jordan. You know, those are my guys. They'll always find their way into my playlist.
Oh, of course.
I don't know how much you listen to him, but I love Jadena.
Jadena. I don't listen too much to him. I do like him. I do have his album. I like Long Live
Give
the
it some
Chief.
spin. Give it some
Long
spin.
Live the Chief and Classic Man, of course.
I love how he's versatile.
Yeah.
He's versatile. Classic Man isn't on this album. But that was the first song like that put him on the map.
Yeah.
And yeah, just he's versatile. He has some hip hop. He has some smooth like R&B on it, like Bambi. I love that song. Just
He has a
Man.
dope story too.
yeah, so that's just what we've been rocking with lately. You know, maybe give it a spin.
I didn't personally know that you. I just named who I was listening to, not specific songs. But for that Kendrick, I will say, DNA, of course, is fire. I love Yeah.
Okay, I can rock with that.
Radars is buzzing.
Yeah, sometimes
Yeah,
between
yeah.
DNA and Element, I'll just let it play. Like I won't skip it. I'll just let it. So
I
that's-
love Yeah. I love Loyalty with Rihanna. I just
hate
just
that
love that song. I love that song.
It's
I really
probably
love
my
it.
least favorite on the album.
And then God
I love
and
God. That
Duckworth.
sounds so funny. I love
The
God.
outro, the outro Duckworth. Also,
Well,
I love
because the
Fear.
story is crazy.
I love Fear, and I love the whole tone of the album of like, pray
It's
for
just-
me. I feel like nobody's praying for me, so pray for me. You know, like don't judge me, and I need help at this moment. You know, like
Heavy, and the album has heavy themes. You know, and every song, every track is named after like a heavy theme of life. You know,
yeah, pride. You know,
yeah.
pride's gonna be the death of me
Lust,
and you
love,
and you
fear,
and me.
loyalty, like all of that.
Yeah. Mac Wiles on his album. I like the song, the intro. I like the song with Wale, Bonnie and
That's the
Clyde.
song I've
I
been
like
listening to.
Stingy. I like Explore. Explore and Stingy is some dope records too. The designer records I like are called Up and Thank God I Got. Logic dropped some new shit called Everybody and Black Spider Man. Yeah, I like
I
Logic,
love
man.
Black Spider-Man.
Yeah, and Joey Badass, like you said, Land of the Free, Temptation, Babylon, Super
yeah.
Predator, Rockabye Baby, Ring the Alarm. I actually like that whole album. Honestly, shouts
And
to
it's an easy listen. It's
Joey
an easy
Badass.
listen. And you remember, I don't know if you remember, but Kendrick said like April 7th he was coming. He said it on the Heart. And
Yeah,
that was actually Joey Badass's album date. And then Kendrick Lamar actually released his album April 14th. I have this wild theory that Kendrick fucks with Joey Badass so much that he was like, you know what?
I'm gonna let him
Joey
live.
Badass live. Yeah, let him rock right here. give him
Yeah.
this week. That's how I feel. I think Kendrick, based on the type of music they make, I can understand Kendrick respecting the shit out of Joey Badass, and a young kid coming up talking about the type of shit he talks about, very conscious,
And
very smart.
best believe Kendrick. No, Joey Badass looks up to Kendrick like as the greatest rapper of all time.
There you go. So
Yeah.
maybe one day we'll see a mentor and a student. WrestleMania, man. No, I'm kidding. I was just bullshit. But with that being said, that's our show. We actually touched on everything. This is probably gonna be a really long show, but we tried to give you everything this week.
Appreciate everybody out there listening and rocking with us since day one, man.
Appreciate everybody out there listening and rocking with us. This is episode 23. We are recording this on the night of April 19th, Wednesday.
Yes.
It is now Thursday, April 20th, 4:20. I don't know what that means for y'all. I'm chilling. It's just a regular day for me. I'm chilling. But, do your thing, But maybe bump some of that music we just gave you while you doing your business.
Vibe out. I don't discriminate.
But
pass the Dutchie to the left hand side. I want to give a shout out. To Tax Stone, man. And a shout out to my brother Jarrell, J Real. Right now my brother he's currently locked up and he's actually with Tax Stone. If for people who are not familiar with Tax Stone, he's a big podcaster. He's a heavy hitter in this podcast world. He's doing a bid right now for a charge that he's a suspect in. There's no guarantee he's not guilty until proven. But my brother Jarrell has told him about us, and he's actually been giving us some pointers, and he said he's gonna pass our episodes on and our show on to some good people. So shout out to him, shout out to my brother, man, always being a good dude, a real dude, no matter where he's at, even when he's locked up in jail, still trying to find opportunities for his family and the people that he cares about and loves. So I just wanted to give a quick shout out to them.
Perfectly said. Well said. We appreciate that a ton. 100%, 1000%. Also, just to recap some stories, we mentioned Isaiah Thomas's youngest sister. We got to mention Roman Reigns' brother Rosie.
Yes.
Actually passed away this week as well. It's been a tough week.
Yeah, condolences.
News. So
they're also from the Lehigh area.
That's crazy.
Their family. Actually, Roman's father has a wrestling school, and he runs his WXW wrestling promotion out here in the Lehigh area. So shout out to them and our condolences with them as well. To the
family, yes.
To the family.
Exactly. And then last news, even crazier, Aaron Hernandez was found not guilty of 2 of the counts against him, 2 of the things he was convicted for. And then he commits suicide. It's crazy story. We're not going to get too political here.
Yeah.
But tough for the family. Anyone who's affected by this negatively. He has a daughter. You know what I'm saying? Anyone who's affected by this negatively. Not going to speak on the act too much. We don't want to get into that. Yeah. We don't know what he was going through or whatever the case may be. But our condolences to anyone who's negatively affected by that. But with all the sad news this week and all the losses, I just want to say, just make sure that the people that are around you are good. Make sure you let them know how much you love and take care of them, because you never know when the day is coming. So always be mindful of those around you. Reach out if you haven't spoken to someone, check on them, see how they're doing. You never know when the day is coming. And thank you for listening. Not to end on such a down note, but reach out. Love each other. Enjoy every moment. Cherish the moments you have with each other. Be grateful. Be appreciative. And thank you for listening. As always, we're going to give you where you can catch us. You can catch me at Working Genius, WorkingGenius on Instagram. Let them know where they can catch you.
You can catch me at Faking No Moves, FAKINNOMOVES on Instagram and Twitter. Also follow us on the No Politics Podcast.
Exactly, at No Politics Podcast. You can catch us on SoundCloud. You can catch us on YouTube, Instagram. Very soon to iTunes. Working on it. It's coming. We're going to talk about that right now after this goes off the air. So don't even worry about that. We coming. We're going to make a splash. Thank you, as always, for listening. This has been episode 23. Have a good day. Have a good night whenever you're listening. Enjoy your week. We love y'all. Thank you. Peace.
Peace.
And why when I touch down, telling her take a trip. Ain't used to that lifestyle, girl, what you forget? Apologize for my side, I've been working too hard. I know, ain't used to that lifestyle, girl, what you forget? And why when I touch down, tell her run.